Welcome back to Hoofnotes, where we make goat science make sense. I'm so glad you're joining us again for another deep dive.
Yeah, it's great to be back, ready to jump into some more fascinating science.
Definitely. Last time we explored the art of goat whispering, remember? And we really talked about that incredible power of, the human connection with our goats.
We did, highlighting how those strong bonds genuinely enrich their lives. It's fundamental stuff.
Totally. And if you haven't had a chance to listen to that one yet, I really encourage you to check it out. It kind of sets a wonderful foundation for what we're exploring today.
It really does. It's a great lead-in.
Because today we're going to expand on that human-animal bond, but in a really compelling new way.
Mm-hmm.
We're diving deep into some pretty groundbreaking new research. It unveils something quite profound, actually.
Go on.
It shows how our care for pregnant goats shapes not just their immediate well-being, but also, remarkably, the health and behavior of their offspring.
Ah, the next generation.
Exactly. Long after those little ones are born. It's just amazing how our daily interactions, things that might seem small, can have such a lasting generational impact.
That's absolutely right. And what we're going to unpack today is, well, it's a really compelling study. It was published in Physiology and Behavior.
Okay.
The title is Positive and Negative Gestational Handling Influences Placental Traits and Mother-Offspring Behavior in Dairy Goats. Quite a mouthful, but very descriptive.
It certainly spells it out.
Yeah. And our mission for this deep dive really is multifaceted. We're not just going to skim the surface.
No, we never do.
We want to really immerse ourselves, understand the core findings, and maybe most importantly for you listening, translate those, scientific insights into practical, actionable knowledge.
Right. Things people can actually use in their barns.
Exactly. Knowledge for everyday goat owners that you can integrate into your care routines, maybe even starting today.
I love that.
And the relevance of this particular study, honestly, it can't really be overstated. It powerfully illuminates just how critical that prenatal period is.
Before they're even born.
Precisely. Influencing future generations of our herds in ways that maybe many of us haven't fully grasped before. So, prepare yourselves for some potentially profound aha moments about the earliest foundations for a kid's life.
Okay, I'm ready.
This research really shows the unseen yet deeply impactful ripples of our care. It's a testament to the fact that what happens inside the mother, influenced by her environment, well, that sets the stage for everything that comes after.
That's a powerful setup. And it makes me incredibly curious, because investigating something as subtle as the impact of human handling on a developing fetus inside a goat. Well, it just sounds incredibly complex.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. So how exactly did these scientists even begin to tackle such a nuanced question? What was the setup of this study? How did they manage to isolate these effects so clearly?
That's an excellent question. And honestly, it speaks volumes about the meticulous design of the research. They really thought this through.
Okay.
So to truly isolate the impact of human interaction during pregnancy, they carefully selected a very specific population. They worked with 40 goats.
The 40. Okay.
And these weren't just any goats. They were all what we call primiparous.
Primiparous. Okay. Refresh my memory on that one.
It simply means they were all first-time mothers.
Right. First-timers.
Exactly. And that's super important, because it means any effects they observed weren't muddled or confused by experiences from previous pregnancies.
Like leftover stress or maybe already having a really good bond from before.
Precisely. Every goat was essentially starting from a clean slate. This makes the results exceptionally clear and quite illuminating.
Makes sense.
And they were specifically twin-bearing Saane-Toggenburg crossbred goats, chosen, for consistency, which further strengthens the reliability of what they found.
Got it. So specific breed mix, all first-timers, all expecting twins, very controlled.
Very. And then there's the timing. The critical window they focused on for their intervention to handling was during mid-gestation.
Mid-gestation.
Specifically from day 80 to day 115 of the pregnancy.
Okay. And how long is a full goat pregnancy again?
About 150 days.
That's right. Typically around 150 days. So this isn't just some random time frame they picked.
No, sounds deliberate.
Very. This intervention occurred during a profoundly crucial developmental phase for the fetuses inside. Think about it. During mid-gestation, so many vital systems are rapidly forming, being fine-tuned.
Like organs, brain development.
Exactly. Organ development, the basic wiring of the brain, all sorts of critical stuff. The timing itself was incredibly strategic, chosen to maximize the potential impact on those developing kids.
Right, hitting that key developmental window So what did they do during that window? What were the different types of handling?
Okay, so this is the core of the study, the handling protocols. They divided the 40 goats into 3 distinct groups. Clear comparison.
3 groups. And each group received 10 minutes of their assigned handling. And this was done twice a day, every single day, throughout that entire mid-gestation window, days 80 to 115.
10 minutes, twice a day, consistent.
Consistency is absolutely key to seeing real effects. Yeah. So the first group was the aversive, or AVS group. This had 13 goats.
Aversive. Sounds
It
unpleasant.
was designed to be.
Oh.
These goats experienced what we objectively describe as negative or highly stressful handling.
So what does that actually look like?
Well, imagine maybe rough physical interactions, perhaps sudden loud noises meant to startle them, or quick, unpredictable movements from the handlers.
Okay.
The study wasn't about, like, actual abuse, let's be clear, but it was about scientifically creating an environment that a goat would perceive as unpleasant or even threatening.
Right, mimicking maybe real-world stress, like rushed handling or just inconsistency.
Exactly. The goal was to quantify the impact of that kind of stress.
Got it. Okay, so that's the AVS group. What were the others?
The second group was the gentle, or GEN group, also 13 goats.
Oh, gentle. That sounds much nicer.
It was. These goats received consistently positive, gentle handling. Think calm interactions, soft petting, maybe slow and deliberate movements around them, soothing vocalizations.
Okay, so the kind of connection we talked about in the goat whispering deep dive.
Precisely that kind of thoughtful, compassionate connection, building trust, fostering comfort, creating a sense of safety for the animals.
Right, and the third group.
And finally, we had the minimal, or M group, this was the control group, with 14 goats.
Minimal handling. So what did that involve or not involve?
Good question. These goats received only standard, normal husbandry procedures. Their routine daily feeding, cleaning, basic health checks.
Just necessary stuff.
Exactly. No specific additional human handling beyond that basic care.
Ah, okay, and that group's crucial, right, for
It's
comparison.
absolutely crucial. It provided the baseline. It allowed the researchers to determine if the specific targeted handling, whether positive or negative, had a measurable effect beyond just routine care.
Okay, so it shows what happens with just basic care versus intentional, gentle handling or, unfortunately, stressful handling.
You got it. It really isolates the effect of that extra interaction.
So how did they measure the impact on the mothers? Did they just, like, observe them looking stressed?
Well, observation was part of it later, but they needed something objective during the handling period. So they focused on monitoring salivary cortisol levels in the mothers.
Cortisol, okay, that's the stress hormone. Right?
That's the one. It's a remarkably reliable biological indicator of how an animal is experiencing its environment. It reflects its physiological stress response.
So when an animal is stressed, cortisol goes up.
Typically, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the findings here were, well, strikingly clear. The AVS goats, the ones getting the aversive handling, they exhibited significantly higher mean cortisol levels.
How much higher?
Their average was 176.7 picograms per microliter. Now, that number might sound a bit abstract,
Yeah, lower.
but consider this. Healthy, calm goats often hover around maybe the 100, 120 pico mark.
Okay, so 176 is way up there.
It's a substantial, sustained elevation. It signals that these mothers were indeed living in a state of, let's say, chronic physiological alarm throughout that crucial mid-gestation period.
Wow, okay.
And in stark contrast, the GEN goats, the ones getting gentle handling, much lower levels, they're averaged 119.6 pill.
Right, in that calm range you mentioned.
Exactly, well within that calm range. And the M group, the control group, they were quite similar to the gentle group, actually, averaging 126.5 pill.
Interesting. So minimal handling wasn't particularly stressful either compared to the aversive group.
Correct. The data unequivocally confirms that the aversive handling specifically created a significant, measurable, and sustained stressful experience for those mothers. It wasn't just a perception. It was a biological reality.
That's really clear evidence. Did they track anything else besides cortisol in the mothers?
Oh, yes. Beyond cortisol, the study meticulously tracked several other vital factors to understand the full ripple effect. They observed mother-offspring behaviors within the crucial first 2 hours after birth. That's a key bonding period, setting the stage for the kid's early life.
Right. Those first couple of hours are so important.
Absolutely. And they also performed a detailed examination of placental morphology.
Placental morphology, looking at the placenta itself.
Exactly. And not just its shape. It's like inspecting the blueprints and the construction quality of the fetus's entire life support system.
Wow, okay.
Any anomalies in its structure, how thick it is, how many of those critical exchange points, called cotyledons, are present, their size, all that can directly impact how well nutrients are transferred.
And how much stress the fetus might experience even before birth.
Precisely. It truly sets the stage for a kid's health. While the abstract also mentioned collecting data on colostrum quality, the specific results for that weren't detailed in what we have, so we'll focus our deep dive on those really compelling behavioral and placental findings.
Okay, sounds good. Wow. That truly sounds like an incredibly thorough and well-designed study, really aiming to isolate the precise impact of these different human interactions. It's amazing how much science went into understanding something we might just, take for granted in our daily chores.
It really is impressive, the level of detail.
So given this careful setup, what were the key insights they uncovered, especially on the, let's say, the more challenging or negative side of things? What did that aversive handling actually do to these pregnant animals and their unborn kids?
Right. And what's truly sobering here, and certainly a profound revelation from the study, is the really quite devastating impact of that negative handling, which, as you'd expect, aligns perfectly with the heightened stress response we saw in those cortisol levels.
Ooh, okay.
The findings unequivocally highlight how stress during pregnancy can have very real and sadly tragic consequences.
Tragic how?
Well,
Rip.
perhaps the most stark and concerning finding was regarding fetal loss.
Oh, no.
Yes. The aversive handling group, the AVS group, was the only treatment group that experienced any fetal loss at all, and they suffered a significant 16% loss rate.
16%. That's
Yeah.
huge compared to the others.
Compared to 0%. There was 0% fetal loss in both the gentle handling group and the minimal handling group.
Wow. So only the stressed group lost pregnancies.
Only the stress group. The 16% loss isn't just a statistic, it's a stark, visceral reminder that stress, something we often think of as maybe just an emotional state,
Right.
it has devastating physical consequences within the womb. It highlights how deeply linked a mother's mental well-being is to the very survival of her unborn young.
A connection maybe we don't always fully appreciate.
I think that's right. This isn't just discomfort for the mother. It's a direct threat to the lives of her developing fetuses.
That's incredibly sobering. Okay, so fetal loss was a major negative outcome. What else? You mentioned the placenta.
Yes, beyond the tragic reality of fetal loss, the study also revealed critical impacts on placental health. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the placenta is absolutely vital, right? It's the lifeline.
The bridge between mother and kid.
Exactly. Think of it as the ultimate supply chain and waste management system, all in one. It delivers all the nutrients, the oxygen the growing kid needs, and just as importantly, it efficiently removes waste products from the fetus.
So its health is paramount.
Absolutely. The health, integrity, and efficiency of the placenta directly and profoundly impact fetal development and overall well-being. Any compromise here? Well, it means the building blocks for healthy growth are hindered.
Okay, so what did they find wrong with the placentas in the stressed group?
The researchers looked specifically at those crucial exchange points we mentioned earlier, the placental structures called cotyledons.
Right, the connection points.
Yes. The study noted a tendency, just a trend, maybe not statistically significant on its own, for placenta from goats in the aversive treatment group to have fewer overall cotyledons.
Right, fewer connection points in general.
But what was statistically significant and really speaks to the efficiency of this system was a specific detail.
What was that?
There were significantly fewer medium-sized cotyledons in the aversive group compared to both the gentle and minimal handling groups.
Medium-sized ones specifically. Why does that matter?
Well, think of cotyledons like tiny, efficient exchange terminals on the placenta surface. The medium-sized ones are often considered the powerhouses for this exchange.
Ah, the optimal size for nutrient transfer.
Kind of, yeah. They seem to have the optimal surface area and structure to really facilitate the transfer of vital nutrients and oxygen efficiently. So having significantly fewer of these key medium-sized cotyledons means a less robust, less efficient nutrient delivery system.
Like having fewer loading docks at a busy port.
That's a great analogy. It's like trying to run a major city supply chain on just a few small, maybe slightly clogged side roads instead of a network of efficient highways.
Got it. Less
Yeah.
efficient transfer.
Exactly. And what this implies for the developing kid is profound. A less robust placenta suggests potentially reduced efficiency in nutrient transfer and overall support.
So the kid might not be getting everything it needs as easily.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
This isn't just some abstract biological detail. It's a structural difference in the very organ sustaining life in utero. It hints at a less optimal, perhaps more challenging, prenatal environment.
Meaning the critical building blocks for healthy development might not be as readily available?
Correct. It lays a less sturdy foundation for that new life to build upon right from the start.
That is incredibly powerful information and honestly a bit chilling. As goat owners, we focus so much on the physical care. We can see the feed, the water, the shelter, the health checks.
The tangible things.
Yeah. But this shows us that something as unseen as the placenta and its intricate condition, which is so clearly influenced by our interactions, well, that really lays the fundamental groundwork for the kid's entire life. It's like the earliest blueprint.
Well said.
So the question then becomes, what about the kids themselves? Once they were actually born, did this prenatal stress follow them out of the room? What observable behaviors emerged?
That is the critical question, isn't it? And the answer, unequivocally, is yes. The impact of that prenatal stress wasn't just confined to the womb.
Okay.
It absolutely manifested in the behavioral development of the kids themselves, right from their very first moments of life.
How so? What did they see?
Well, kids born to mothers from the aversive handling group showed an overall and quite concerning trend. They took longer to achieve crucial early milestones.
Milestones like?
We're talking about really fundamental, survival-critical behaviors, things essential for their immediate well-being. Specifically, these kids needed more time to stand up on their own after birth.
Okay, that's a big one.
Huge. More time to successfully reach the udder, and consequently, more time to initiate and successfully suckle.
Wow. So standing, finding the udder, nursing, all delayed.
All showing a tendency towards delay. And if you connect this to survival in those crucial first hours, especially maybe in a more natural setting or even just a busy kidding pen.
Right? Getting that first colostrum quickly is vital.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A kid's ability to stand and nurse determines its early vigor and significantly impacts its chances of survival. A delay here, even by just minutes, can place them at a very real disadvantage. It could lead to weakness, chilling, failure to thrive.
Okay, so basic survival skills were impacted. Anything else?
Yes, and this one I found particularly striking. It relates to play behavior.
Play. How did stress affect play?
Well, play isn't just about frolicking, right? It's actually a profound window into a young animal's developing temperament and well-being.
True. Healthy kids are usually playful kids.
Exactly. And kids from the aversive-handled mothers showed a significant delay in their first play behavior.
How significant?
The researchers quantified it. These kids took, on average, a full 25 minutes longer to initiate play for the very first time, compared to kids from both the gentle and the minimal treatment groups.
25 minutes. That seems like a really long time in the first hours of life.
It really is. And what's fascinating here is the significance of play beyond just being cute. Play is vital. It's how young animals learn crucial life skills, develop coordination, explore their environment safely, and establish social bonds with their peers, with their siblings.
Right. It's practice for life.
In many ways, yes. So a delay in initiating play suggests a broader impact on their overall development and welfare. It perhaps indicates a more cautious, inhibited, or even stressed disposition right from birth.
Like they're less confident exploring the world.
That could be part of it. It implies that their early experiences in the womb, shaped by their mother's stress, affected their fundamental approach to the world outside, almost as if they were born into a state of heightened caution rather than, say, joyful exploration.
Wow, that's profound.
It really is. So to kind of summarize these negative impacts, it's undeniably clear that negative handling during gestation creates this truly damaging cascade of adverse outcomes.
Right.
We see the direct link to increased maternal stress, backed by the cortisol data. We see a higher risk of tragic fetal loss. We see compromised placental health, affecting that foundational support. And we see significant developmental delays in the offspring's crucial early behaviors, including survival skills and even play.
It's a whole package of negative consequences.
It truly is. It's a testament to how deeply our interactions as caregivers can affect the future generation of our herds, impacting their very earliest chances at thriving.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot to process. And it really underscores the immense importance of, mindful interaction and just a calm presence in our barns.
Absolutely.
After hearing about the challenges and the profound costs of negative handling, which frankly can be quite disheartening.
It can be, yes.
So let's shift our focus. Let's talk about the brighter side. What benefits did the gentle handling provide? What did that do for the mothers and their kids? This is where we get into the real aha moments for how to apply this research proactively, right?
Absolutely. And the good news is The study provides equally compelling evidence for the powerful, positive ripple effects of gentle handling.
Okay, good.
The benefits really shine through, particularly in those crucial first 2 hours postpartum. That super sensitive, critical bonding period between mother and offspring.
Right, when everything is getting established.
Exactly. That brief window sets the tone for their relationship and the kid's early survival. And what they found was quite clear.
What did they see?
Well, mothers in the gentle handling group displayed significantly more grooming behavior towards their young.
Grooming, like licking them clean.
Yes, that vigorous licking and cleaning right after birth. They were seen grooming their kids a remarkable 89.3% of the observation time.
Nearly 90%. How did that compare?
We'll compare that to 72.6% in the aversive group and only 63.4% in the minimal handling group.
Wow, that's a big difference, especially compared to the minimal group.
It is. And it's statistically significant, meaning it wasn't just random chance. It tells us these gentle-handled mothers were far more engaged in this vital caregiving activity.
Okay, more grooming. What else?
Similarly, the gentle-handled mothers engaged in far more frequent nosing of their kids.
Nosing. Just nudging them.
Yeah, that gentle nudging, sniffing, checking them over. They averaged 58.8 instances of nosing in those first 2 hours.
Okay, almost 60 times. And the others?
The aversive group averaged only 28.6 instances, and the minimal group averaged 34.7 instances.
Again, a huge difference, almost double the amount of nosing compared to the other groups.
Exactly. Another clear, substantial, statistically significant difference. The gentle mothers were just much more actively checking on, communicating with, and seemingly comforting their new offspring.
So why do these specific behaviors, grooming and nosing, matter so much?
Oh, they're absolutely fundamental to successful maternal offspring bonding in goats and really in many species.
They're not just like cute interactions.
Not at all. They serve vital biological and social purposes. Grooming, for instance, stimulates the kid, helps it to stand, gets its circulation going, helps it orient itself.
And encourages it to find the udder, maybe.
Yes, absolutely. And both grooming and nosing are critical for recognition. They help the kid recognize its mother through scent and touch, solidifying that unique, crucial bond.
Establishing that connection for future care, protection.
Exactly, for successful rearing. More of these behaviors strongly suggest a stronger, more nurturing maternal instinct. A mother who is highly engaged and invested in her new offspring right from the very start.
The kind of attentive care that really sets a new life on the right path.
Precisely.
And what's really fascinating here, thinking back to our last deep dive, is how these enhanced maternal behaviors align so perfectly with what we discussed about the human-animal bond.
It's a beautiful connection, isn't it? It suggests this powerful feedback loop.
How so?
Well, a calm, well-adjusted mother, one who has been experiencing positive, trust-building interactions with humans, appears to be not only less stressed herself, as the cortisol showed,
Right.
but she also seems better equipped, both physiologically and behaviorally, to provide optimal care for her young.
So the gentle handling didn't just reduce her stress, it actually enhanced her mothering skills.
It seems to have enhanced her drive and capacity to be a highly attentive and nurturing mother, yes. It's almost as if stress can kind of inhibit those natural instincts, while calm allows them to flourish more fully.
That makes so much sense.
So if we connect this to the broader picture, a mother that readily accepts and diligently cares for her kid in those initial hours, well, she sets that kid up for a much stronger start in life.
Which is everything in that early period.
It really is. That foundational period for survival, for getting that crucial immune transfer through the first colostrum, for overall early development, it's all boosted. The gentle handling appears to foster a more confident, attentive, and proactive mother.
Directly translating into better, more immediate care for the new generation.
It literally seems to prime the mother to be a more effective caregiver.
That is truly remarkable, isn't it? Just
Yeah.
wow. It's almost poetic how our human interaction, whether it's positive or negative, clearly ripples through the entire reproductive cycle.
It's a profound ripple effect.
It influences not just the health of the mother and the developing kid, but even the mother's inherent drive to nurture and care for her young. It really highlights the incredible depth of our influence as caregivers.
It does. It extends even to these core instinctual behaviors.
So what does this all mean for us? For the goat owners listening right now, how can we translate these powerful scientific insights into practical, actionable, everyday strategies for our own herds? This is the takeaway, right?
Absolutely. This is where the science truly becomes actionable and I think really empowers every goat owner.
Mm-hmm.
The study provides incredibly strong evidence. Gentle, consistent interaction with pregnant animals carries significant, measurable, and far-reaching benefits.
Benefits for the mother and her future offspring.
Exactly. It's an investment with incredible returns. The power of proactive, positive handling really can't be overstated.
So it's more than just checking on them.
Much more. It's about active, positive, intentional engagement.
Yeah.
So concrete actions you can take, well, dedicate regular, calm time with your pregnant mothers.
Like what kind of things?
It could be as simple as talking to them softly as you move through the barn, just letting them hear your calm voice regularly. Maybe offer gentle pats if they enjoy that. A calm, slow brushing session. Many goats really seem to love that.
Mine certainly do.
Or even just sitting quietly with them in their space for a few minutes, allowing them to acclimate to your peaceful presence, showing them you're not a threat. The key here is consistency and maintaining a calm, reassuring demeanor yourself.
Our energy matters.
Immensely. This positive interaction helps to significantly lower their stress levels, as we saw so clearly evidenced by the cortisol findings.
Right.
A calmer mother, one who feels secure, safe, and unthreatened by human presence, fosters a healthier, more optimal environment for the developing fetus within her.
Like creating a peaceful sanctuary inside and out.
That's a lovely way to put it. This internal calm translates into better physiological conditions for fetal development.
And the implications for the kids. We saw the negative side. What's the positive flip side?
Equally significant and directly observable. We saw how a relaxed mother directly contributes to kids with potentially faster developmental milestones.
Quicker to stand, quicker to nurse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Quicker to stand, find the udder, and suckle successfully. And this isn't just about convenience for you, the owner. It directly impacts their initial survival and vigor, especially in those critical first few hours when every moment counts for warmth, nutrition, bonding.
Getting them off to the best possible start.
Precisely. And furthermore, the long-term impact is evident in their behavior, too. Remember the play delay?
Yes, the 25-minute difference.
Well, the flip side is that kids from gently handled mothers display that play behavior earlier. This suggests a more resilient, confident, and well-adjusted disposition right from the start of their lives.
So you're essentially giving them a significant head start in their overall well-being.
And their ability to thrive, yes. You're helping to shape their very temperament, setting them up to explore the world with curiosity and confidence, rather than perhaps hesitation born from early stress.
It really emphasizes the importance of observation too, doesn't it?
Absolutely. A crucial word on monitoring and observation. This study underscores the immense importance of keen observation, particularly during that mid-gestation period, days 80 to 115.
Watching for signs of stress.
Yes, ensuring your pregnant animals exhibit minimal signs of stress. Now, look, unforeseen stressors can always occur, right? A loud thunderstorm, an unexpected predator nearby, maybe a new animal being introduced. Things happen.
Life happens.
Life happens. But consistent positive handling builds a strong foundation of resilience within your animals. You're creating an environment where they feel inherently safe and supported by your presence, making them better able to cope when unexpected events do arise.
So it builds their baseline coping ability.
I think that's a great way to think about it. It's about proactive care, recognizing that your daily presence, your touch, your demeanor, they can be powerful tools for promoting health and well-being.
Yeah.
Not just for that individual mother, but really across generations of your herd.
It literally pays dividends in the health and vitality of your future kids.
It really seems to.
So what this all means for us then, the people who share our lives with these incredible animals, it means that beyond just providing the essentials, good nutrition, clean water, adequate shelter, all vital, of course,
Of course.
our daily interactions with our pregnant goats actively shape their health, the quality of the placenta supporting their kids, and even those initial foundational behaviors that determine their kids' early success and future disposition.
It connects everything.
Yeah, it transforms what we might just call handling into true, profound nurturing. It's an immense responsibility, certainly.
It is.
But it's also an incredible opportunity, isn't it? To make a deeply positive, lasting impact on the lives of our animals and the generations to come within our herds. It really makes you think about every touch, every interaction.
It absolutely should. Every moment matters.
Now, what's one final thought you want to leave our listeners with from this deep dive? Something for them to really mull over as they go about their day, caring for their goats.
Okay. Maybe consider this. The bond you forge with your goat, The quality of your gentle presence and your consistent care, even before a kid sees the light of day. That connection, that care, lays the very foundation for that new life's temperament, its health, and its readiness to thrive.
Wow.
It's not just about the individual animal you're caring for in that moment. It's truly an investment in the future of your herd. The quality of your connection today genuinely shapes the generations to come.
Powerful insights indeed. It really puts our role as caregivers into a whole new perspective, doesn't it?
I think it does.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into goat care during pregnancy and its profound, far-reaching influence on future generations. It's been incredibly enlightening.
My pleasure. It's important work to discuss.
Absolutely. And if you listening found this fascinating and want to explore even more about the powerful reciprocal connection we share with our goats, remember to check out our earlier deep dive on the art of goat whispering. It really helps appreciate the whole spectrum of this human-goat connection.
Definitely worth revisiting.
We always value your questions and thoughts, so please feel free to reach out. Until next time, keep nurturing those hoof notes in your life.